Basketball doesn't last forever, but the lessons do. I'm Nick Crossan, owner of EBC Training Centers, and this is Purpose Over Points, a podcast filmed inside EBC, the heart of Washington's premier training center. Purpose Over Points stands apart from your traditional basketball podcasts by blending coaching education, mentorship, storytelling, and the importance of family and community connection. It's not just about developing athletes, it's about developing people. Here we talk about life after basketball and what happens when the points stop adding up and the real scoreboard becomes your character, your purpose, and your growth. Welcome to our very first episode of Purpose Over Points. I am your host, Nick Crossan. Now, before we start diving into who I am and what Purpose Over Points is and stands for, and what you're going to get as a listener, or if you're not listening, you're watching, I want to give some shout outs to the people that have helped put me in this chair. The first and foremost person is my wonderful and beautiful wife, Nick Crossan. We just celebrated our 14th year anniversary. She is my high school sweetheart, and without her, I am absolutely nobody. She's my rock, she is my stone. She is the person that has helped build me to who I am with confidence, love, and realness. I love you to death, and I thank you for everything that you've not only done for me, but our family. Second is my cousin Desmond. When you hear the Purpose Over Points beats in our intro, that is my cousin Desmond. You can go follow him at Icon Des. Third person is Ali. He is the man behind the scenes. He is doing everything with the camera, the mics. He's absolutely incredible at what he does. Please go follow him at Ali Films. And last is my family. First and foremost, my mother. My mother, who is absolutely my idol, someone I look up to on a daily. My second person is my father. He is no longer here with us today, but God rest his soul, he was right here next to me and I feel his presence. To my older sister, Kelly, to my older brother, Ryan, and to my other brother, Danny. They are the people that were with me from the moment I have been born to who I am today, and I love them deeply. The last part of my family is the last in my heart. They have gained so much in my heart is my brother, Aaron Nettles, and my sister, Kayla Nettles. To my father-in-law and to my mother-in-law and to my grandma. To everybody on the Nettles side, you all have done nothing but been a huge part of who I am, and I thank you and I love every single one of you. Now, as you sit here and you're wondering, who is Nick Crossan and who am I? Let me take you back to a young man who was born in Seattle, Washington, raised by a single mother who had 4 kids to raise by herself, and that is my mother, Helen. Like I said, she is my hero. As I have 4 kids myself, I have no idea how she did it, but she absolutely did it with love, passion, and definitely realness behind it. I was raised with a split household, so I was not your normal kid that was raised with a parent as far as a mother and a father in the same house. My father lived in Kent, and my mother was in Kent, but I came on over here to the east side when I was about 6 or 7 years old. My mother met a man by the name of Jim Barker, who I call him to this day my stepfather. He is someone, again, that has poured so much into my life, and I can't thank him enough as well. Then you're wondering, what is Purpose Over Points, and why did you start this? Well, again, let me take you back to when I was a kid. I have a deep passion for the game of basketball. And I was a young kid, I had all the dreams in the world. I was going to make it to the NBA. I was going to continue to be the best version of myself. I was going to stack my days and I was going to go for my dreams, and there was nobody that could tell me anything different. But for me, the ball stopped bouncing at a very young age. And I was not prepared for it, nor was I ready for it. And that is something we will continue to talk about in this podcast, Purpose Over Points, is when that basketball stops bouncing, who am I? Who am I? The game is over. I can no longer step in those four lines and compete at the level that I need to be. So how do I continue to grow myself, the people around me, and become the best version of myself? Well, as a young kid, as a high school athlete, I was one of the top athletes in my class. I was one of the best basketball players in my state my freshman and sophomore year, and I was getting recruited by some very heavy, high-powered schools. But all those opportunities started to slowly slither and wander, and they went away. Simply because I thought, my shit don't stink. And I thought that I could do everything by myself and I did not need anybody, which is the complete opposite of what Purpose Over Points is. It takes a village, it takes a community, and I can't wait to go down this journey with you. And as we continue to grow together, and I was that young athlete, I was a junior in high school when things started to really wake up for me. I went to the Dominican Republic for 2 weeks. The first week, I ran basketball camps. I was around kids that absolutely had nothing. They had no homes. They had no windows. They had a silver faucet that had water that would come out of it, and that was their bath or their shower. That's how they got their water. And I came home depressed. I felt guilty for what I had. I wasn't quite sure of the man who I was, but then and there I started to deep down and figure out, who is Nick Crossan beyond the game of basketball? As I started to continue my journey with the basketball, I went to Bakersfield College out of high school, a national junior college where it is nowhere in my path that I thought I would be, but it ended up being the absolute best thing for me. My coach, Rich Hughes, who was someone that changed my life immediately. I was not your typical high school kid that was just go through the motions, calm. I was high-wired, high-strung, wanting to fight. It didn't matter who was in my way. I was going to fight you and I was going to prove a point. Because then again, I was raised in a single household, which was completely different than anybody else around me on the east side. And I felt jealous, to be honest. I was pissed because I didn't have those things. And so I took that anger out in the court. The court was my place where I could just vent and I could let it all out. Well, that got the best of me. In Purpose Over Points, that's what you're going to learn. I'm going to bring people in that share their stories. They share their who they are, the what, the how, and the why. And they continue to figure out every single day is an opportunity for you to grow, to stack your days, and to become the best version of yourself. This is a community, Purpose Over Points. This is not something that we want to take lightly. We're going to bring people in that are authentic to who they are, because that's what you're going to get in this podcast. We are not going to fluff anything. We're going to sit down. We're going to talk about real things. We're going to love together. We're going to cry together. And we're going to build together. Because Purpose Over Points is a community. It is not just a podcast. It is the same community that I am sitting right here at EBC. Like I mentioned, family is the most important thing to me. The absolute most important thing. If you were to ask me, what are your 2 goals in your life? Number 1 is to be famous in my own home. And number 2, who do I look up to and who is your idol? It is myself 10 years from now. Because every single day is an opportunity for me to grow and for you to grow. Every day is an opportunity for me to stack that day. I don't have perfect days. I am not a perfect person. But I'm here to tell you, with Purpose Over Points, you're going to learn that it's okay to be yourself, to be authentic, and to continue to strive to be the best version of yourself. Now, while this is a community and while we continue to build things together, I did a fun thing. For our very first episode, I thought, let's bring everybody in. So I asked you, the audience, why don't you sit down and why don't you ask me some questions that you want to know? And this will not be the first time or the last time. I got over 25 questions and they were remarkable. And today I'm only picking 3. And let me tell you something, these 3 hit home, and I think it's a big sign to what Purpose Over Points is all about. This first person, Fahima Muhammad. An absolute incredible question. Fahima is someone that is deep in my heart. She is one of the biggest energy givers that I've ever been around the entirety of my life. I had the privilege to coach her, but I had the privilege to coach her older brother, Yusuf. Yusuf and their family hold an extremely special place in my heart because they are who they are, and that's what I respect about them. There's no fluff behind it. They are exactly what Purpose Over Points demonstrates, the realness of love and wrapping your arms around people. Fahima's question was, what's your why behind coaching? And how do you remind yourself of what every single day? Well, first and foremost, my why behind coaching goes deeper than basketball. My why is simple. My why is to continue to plant those seeds that, for just like you, Fahima, where I want to plant the seed and I want to help you water it and I want to see you blossom into this wonderful, beautiful human being that you are. And I want to see you continue to grow. You know this is not a short-term thing. We're in this for a lifetime contract. And I want to see you grow and become the best version of yourself. The second part of this question, how do you remind yourself on the why, every single day? That is a great question. And my why stands deeper than the how. My why, it goes down to my overall morals of how I live my life. And my why is bigger than the purpose. And I say this because my why is going to continue to help me grow into the man I be. When I step onto that basketball court, I know every single time I step onto that court, I have an opportunity to help and grow others. And that's what Purpose Over Points is all about, growing people. Second question from Steve Marler. Steve and his family are in our EBC community. Absolutely love them. Steve, thank you for taking the time to write this wonderful question. Here is Steve's question. At the end of the day, most kids won't play a sport in college, let alone professionally. I personally use sports to show my kids how easily it is to improve at something with just a little bit of practice, so that I can relate it to education or just about anything in life. What's your thought on this? Steve, this is a wonderful question. And there's a whole lot to this. We could have a whole podcast on simply just this. But sports is a vehicle of life. There are so many lessons that the game teaches you, and it is exactly the reason why I'm sitting here today is because of sports. I have learned so many lessons through the game of basketball. It has helped me to build confidence, helped me to deal with people that I don't want to deal with. There's teammates I don't like. There's teammates that I love. There's people that I don't like. There's coaches that I love and coaches I don't like. I got to learn to communicate. I got to learn to be present in the moment and not let my ego get in my way. So I absolutely think that the game of basketball and sports in general, they are the driver to your life. And if you are a parent out there that has a kid playing your sport, embrace it. Do not put a pillow underneath them to try to save them. Those hard times are great times, because the moment you put that pillow, it's a lesson that they get saved from. I want you to think about something really quick. If your kid's not playing or whatever the circumstance may be, try not to go save them and go talk to the coach. Have the kid go out there and talk to the coach and figure out what they need to do to get back on the court. Because they're going to instantly build confidence, not only for themselves, but into the coach. Because that coach is going to respect your kid a lot more when they come to them and the parent isn't coming to them. But Steve, thank you for this. Thank you for the question. This is a wonderful question. My last question is from my man, Chris Hansen. Chris Hansen is the absolute GOAT when it comes to women basketball. He is a recruiter. He has done everything from a McDonald's All-American nominee. He runs Elite as Earned. If you're someone that wants to learn basketball, the Elite as Earned camp is the place to be. They have a wonderful team. There are not many people in this game, especially in our state, that do it the right way. Chris and his team are D1 caliber people. Here is Chris Hansen's question. When did you realize your passion for the game extended beyond playing and teaching? And can you think of anything you'd tell rookie coach Nick now that you have so many years in helping kids? First, let me answer the first part of your question. When did you realize your passion for the game extended beyond playing to teaching? I'll be very honest. It took me a long time to get over the fact that I was no longer able to play the game of basketball. Because at 21 years old, the game was over for me. I was born with hip dysplasia. It is something I found out very deep in my career. And I had a pain in my hips that I cannot describe. I'm 35 years old now. I have one hip replaced and a second one coming. So when that shock hit me, that I no longer could play, I'll be honest, I was depressed. It took me a long time until I found myself on that basketball court again, pouring in and giving back to kids. When I saw the smiles on their face and the passion that they received and the love they received, I knew immediately this is what I need to do and this is where I need to be. Second question, part of this question. Can you think of anything you tell rookie Nick now that you have so many years in helping kids? Absolutely. The first thing I would tell myself is to slow down, pump the brakes. This is not as serious as you think it is. As a young coach and a young rookie coach, I was haywired. I was all over the place, high-strung. I was definitely pouring into kids, but I wasn't doing it at the rate that I needed it to be. I was holding kids accountable, but I was doing it too much. I was doing it at a rate where it wasn't productive to the kids and it wasn't productive to me. And more importantly, it wasn't productive to the relationships that I have. So to pump the brakes, slow down. Understand that today is another opportunity for you to pour into your kid, and every single kid that you touch when you step on that court is striving and wanting that love and that attention, because you are the second branch of parenting at their house. This is Purpose Over Points. I want to thank you for tuning in, and I want to continue to grow together. Because without you, there is no me. And without community, there is no Purpose Over Points. I can't wait for you to sit there and listen if you're at home. And if you're on watching a video, tap in. Because you're going to be absolutely thrilled and shocked at the guests that we bring in. We're bringing high quality people that are going to enhance your life to become the best version of yourself. This is Purpose Over Points, where this is way bigger than the game. We're not just building athletes, we are building people. Subscribe, like, and love. I cannot wait to continue this journey. Love you all. God bless.